Now, fifth chapter of accounts, accounting, ratio and analysis. We are in general term, ratio means you establish a relationship between two figures and you express it in numbers, numerical measure. Like ratios we have studied in partnership earlier, that two partners sharing ratio of 3:2. So it is a numerical measure showing the relationship between two things. Here it was a numerical measure showing the relationship between two partners. Same way, if you compare the marks of accounts and statistics, then again it is a ratio, which is showing the comparison of two figures of accountancy and statistics. In accounts also, from financial statements, when you compare any two figures and express it in a numerical measure, it is called ratio. For example, the financial statements, profit and loss and balance sheet. Sales, let us say 45 lakhs. At the end, net profit, profit after tax, let us say 9 lakhs. In balance sheet, current liabilities, let us say 3 lakhs. Current assets, let us say 4,50,000. In that, debtors, within current assets, let us say debtors are 2,25,000. Now, how do we compare it? One comparison you can do between 45 lakhs and 9 lakhs. Can I say 9 lakh is 20% of 45 lakhs? You can say the net profit is 20% of sales. This 20% is a ratio. It is a numerical measure. Repeat. Showing relationship between two figures of financial statements. Did you understand the meaning of ratio? Now suppose you compare current assets and current liabilities. Then can I say 4,50,000 means it is 1.5:1. Current assets 4,50,000, current liabilities 3 lakhs. 4,50,000 divided by 3 lakhs, 1.5. Means against 1 rupee of current liability, we have 1.5 rupee of current assets. This is also accounting ratio. And suppose you compare debtors with sales. Then 45 lakhs divided by 2,25,000. Can I say sales is 20 times of debtors? Sales is 20 times of debtors. It means in 1 year, we sell 20 times the goods to debtors. Today you sell goods on credit, 2,25,000. Then why in the whole year your sales is 45 lakhs? In this manner you are selling the goods 20 times. Okay, 20 times. So one more time you sell goods of 2,25,000 to debtors, it becomes 225, 450. One more time you sell it 635. This way you sell the goods 20 times during the year. And so against 2,25,000 you have sales of 45 lakhs. Or you can say 45 lakhs divided by 225 is 20 times. If we consider 12 months, divide by 20, then 0.6. It means today we sell the goods to debtors. In 0.6 months they pay the money to us. Then again we sell the goods to debtors of 2,25,000. So if we sell the goods to them 20 times during the year, means they are paying us the money back every 0.6 months. If you want to know this in weeks, then 52 weeks divided by 20. If you want to know it in days, then 365 divided by 20. Did everyone understand this? So what is the meaning of ratio? It is a numerical measure showing relationship between two figures of financial statements. Both the figures may be of profit and loss statement. Then it is called profit and loss statement ratios. Both the figures may be of balance sheet, that is called balance sheet ratios. One figure may be of profit and loss and one figure may be of balance sheet 20 times, then it is called composite ratios. This type of classification is called traditional classification, old classification. In olden times, how we used to find the ratios? First we used to find ratios from profit and loss, then we used to find ratios from balance sheet, and then we used to find composite ratios. This is traditional classification. Did everyone understand this? So, that on meaning. Ratio is a numerical measure. Ratio is a numerical measure showing relationship between two figures of financial statements. Okay. First of here, both the figures may be of profit and loss statement, both the figures may be of balance sheet, or one figure may be of profit and loss statement, one of balance sheet. Okay, one figure may be of profit and loss statement and one of balance sheet, in bracket composite. Bracket close. First of this is traditional classification. This is traditional classification. Did you understand this portion, everyone? Now, meaning is, now how can we present the ratios? Presentation of ratios or form of ratios. As I explained you already, 4 presentations I have given it here. 4 presentations already given over here. Either you can express it in percentage, like the first one, or you can express it in proportion, as the second one I have done 1.5:1, or you can express it in times, as I have done the third one, sales is 20 times of debtors, or you can express it in fractions also. Means instead of writing 1.5:1, if I simply write 1.5, current assets are 1.5 times of current liabilities, then simply that 1.5 is fraction. Or you can express it even in days or weeks or months. As I explained that 0.6 months. So these are the 5 different ways of expressing the ratios. Okay, you can present them in the form of percentage or proportion or times or fractions or days or weeks or months. Note it down. So mainly we'll be using the first 3 presentations. Majority of ratios will go in percentage, proportion and times. Now, there are 2 ways the ratios can be classified. Be attended. One is traditional classification that we studied just now in the meaning itself, so I am not writing it again. And practical questions will not be studying from traditional classification point of view. So traditionally they are classified into 3 categories: profit and loss statement ratios, balance sheet ratios and composite. Profit and loss means both the figures of P&L, balance sheet both the figures of balance sheet, and composite one of P&L and one of balance sheet. The other one is functional classification. Okay, not modern classification, functional. Now functional means what function they fulfill, what purpose or objective they fulfill. So we will be studying the ratios under this category. Means as per functional classification, there are 4 different objectives which the ratios fulfill. One is they show the profitability of business. So profitability ratios. Second, they show the liquidity of business, means short-term solvency. Within 1 year, will we have enough money to pay the liabilities maturing in 1 year time or not? What does profitability ratios show? Profitability of the business, whether business is earning good profits or incurring loss. What does liquidity ratios show? Short-term solvency. Within 1 year, the business will be able to pay the money or not. Then third is solvency ratios. This is long-term solvency. This is short-term solvency, and these ratios fulfill what objective? They show the long-term solvency position of the business. After 1 year, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever liabilities are maturing in long time, will we be able to pay them or not? And last is called activity ratios, or they are also called turnover ratios. Which are the two main activities of business? Buying and selling. Now, in purchasing, except price negotiation and quality, no other efficiency is required. Main efficiency is required in selling only. And your purchase will also depend on sales. If you are efficient to sell more, then you'll buy more. So mainly we don't have to test the purchases, we have to test the sales. So turnover means sales of the business. Therefore activity ratios are also called turnover. They reveal the efficiency of sales in the business. The performance of sales in the business. Is sales efficiently done in the business or not? So 4 objectives, therefore it is called functional classification. Okay? This fulfill the objective of knowing the profitability, short-term solvency, long-term solvency, and efficiency of sales. In profitability ratio, we'll study gross profit ratio, then operating ratio, then operating profit ratio, and net profit ratio. Okay, then in liquidity we will study current ratio and liquid ratio. In solvency ratios we'll study debt to equity ratio, assets to debt ratio, proprietary ratio, and interest coverage ratio. In activity ratios, we'll study stock turnover ratio, working capital turnover ratio, debtors turnover ratio, and creditors turnover ratio. This complete chapter is formulas based. 4 plus 2, 6 plus 4, 10 plus 4, only 14 formulas we will study. After the chapter is over, you will also say only 14, because actually in advanced level there are 50 ratios minimum. You have only 14 in your syllabus. In profitability alone we have 13 ratios. Only 4 are done in your syllabus. So only 14, and they are very easy. All the formulas you remember in the class itself. Today we will see, you have wasted a lot of time, I would have started the questions. Today we will see only the formulas of profitability ratios, and its practical questions will start tomorrow. Is everyone clear with this? Yes. So note down this complete diagram. We'll see the formulas of profitability ratios. There are tricks and concepts to remember the formulas. So if you are attentive and present in the class, not absent, then all the formulas you'll remember in the class itself. You don't have to write them 20, 25 times. You'll remember them all in the class itself. Yes, but one time you have to write without seeing in the homework. And after that, when we start the next questions, do remind me to make you leave pages for the remaining formulas. Total 4 lectures will be required for this chapter. Every ratio 1 lecture. Except today, which I listed. So tomorrow profitability will complete. In solvency, debt to equity ratio, assets to debt ratio, proprietary ratio, TARY, not TORY, proprietary TARY, and interest coverage ratio. An activity is stock turnover, working capital turnover, debtors turnover, and creditors turnover. By the way, whether you do traditional classification or functional, don't be under the impression that in traditional there were only 3, so less. All 14 are done and covered in traditional also. Like profit and loss statement ratios, both the figures are of P&L. So this 4 ratios cover under profit and loss statement. In balance sheet, both the figures are of balance sheet. So this 2 and this 3, 5 ratios come under balance sheet. Then composite ratio includes this 4th and this 4. So same 14 come under traditional classification also. Okay, but under different headings they come. Otherwise same 14 are to be studied. Now profitability ratios, be attentive, all of you put your pens down. For next 5-7 minutes we'll discuss the concepts, then we'll write the formulas. And you all be attentive, you'll remember the formulas here itself. 3 main points to be remembered regarding profitability ratios. First, all of them are expressed in percentage. So in all the formulas you have into 100. All the profitability ratios are expressed in percentage. So in all the formulas you have into 100. Second, numerator of all ratios is ratio itself. Okay, those who have any confusion, numerator is the upper part and denominator is the lower part. Numerator of all the ratios will be ratio itself, means in gross profit ratio, numerator is gross profit. In operating ratio, numerator is operating cost. In operating profit ratio, numerator is operating profit. Operating cost, operating profit. And in net profit ratio, numerator is net profit. Do you understand this? Denominator of all the ratios is sales. Yes, sales. Denominator of all the ratios is sales. And remember this throughout the chapter. Wherever we take sales, we have to take net sales after deducting sales return. And wherever we take purchases, we have to take net purchases after deducting purchase returns. Okay. So percentage means into 100, numerators ratio itself, and denominator sales. Gross profit ratio equals to gross profit upon sales into 100. Operating ratio equals to operating cost upon sales into 100. Operating profit upon sales into 100. Net profit upon sales into 100. Did you understand this? So I told you very simple. Okay. Now, how to find this gross profit, operating cost, operating profit and net profit? Gross profit we have already been doing in trading accounts, so you already know the concept of that. Okay. But here how we will be finding it is because we are not going to make trading account. So, trading account, listen carefully to the concept. Opening stock, purchases, purchase expenses, sales, closing stock. And then we used to get gross profit. Suppose 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, gross profit 6 plus 5, 11. 11 minus 9, 2. Okay. Now, see this carefully and tell me, what is this L? We have seen it in the last 2 chapters. So this entire L, opening stock, purchase expense, closing stock. Cost of goods sold. We have seen the formula, opening stock plus purchase plus direct expense minus closing stock. So suppose I find cost of goods sold. 2 plus 3, 5 plus 4, 9 minus 6, 3. Now if you do sales 5 minus cost of goods sold 3, you'll get the gross profit 2. This is how we are going to find the gross profit in this chapter. Sales minus cost of goods sold. And how to find cost of goods sold we have already seen in the last 2 chapters. If changes in stock is directly given, that also we did yesterday. Then you will directly do purchases plus changes in stock. Did you understand this? Did all of you understand this portion? So, how will you find gross profit sales minus cost of goods sold? Okay, now we find cost of goods sold. Opening stock plus purchase plus direct expense minus closing stock. And if changes in stock is given, then directly purchase plus changes in stock. Any confusion in that? Now, operating ratio, as I said, operating ratio means operating cost. Operating cost, first of all, includes cost of goods sold. Because operating cost means cost of operating your business activities. One of the major cost of doing your business activities, cost of goods sold. Further, from P&L account, this is trading account item. From P&L, administrative expenses are all your cost of operating the business activities. Salary, electricity bill, telephone bill, etc. Selling expenses doing your business activity. But financial expense is not doing your business activity. You're borrowing the money, so you're paying interest. Depreciation is your business activity. Because you're using the assets in the business, so their value will go down. But other expenses and losses like loss by fire, that is not because of your business activity. Loss on sale of asset, profit on sale of asset is not your business activity. Buying and selling goods is your business activity, not assets. So what will operating cost include? Cost of goods sold and operating expense. And what will operating expense include? Administration expense, selling expense and depreciation. No other thing. No other incomes, no other expenses. So what will be operating cost? Cost of goods sold plus operating expense. And what will operating expense include? Administration expense, selling expense and depreciation. Operating profit is sales minus operating cost. So sales minus cost of goods sold minus operating expenses is operating profit. By the way, yes? By the way, if operating ratio is 80%, then operating profit ratio is 20%. If operating ratio is 70%, then operating profit ratio is 30%. So if both the ratios are asked in the question, then we'll not apply any formula for operating profit ratio. We'll simply do 100 minus operating ratio. Did you understand this? And net profit ratio, net profit upon sales into 100. What is the net profit? Last profit, profit after tax. In the statement we have seen that final figure, profit after tax is net profit. Did you understand the content, everyone? So 3 main points we'll write and then we'll write all the formulas. First point. Numerator of all the ratios is ratio itself. Second, denominator of all the ratios is sales. Third, since they are expressed in percentage, comma, they will be multiplied with 100. So now I am directly writing everything because concept all I have discussed. Okay, you will just copy it out. So first one, gross profit ratio is equal to gross profit divided by sales into 100, where gross profit is equal to sales minus cost of goods sold, and cost of goods sold is equal to opening stock plus purchases plus direct expense minus closing stock. Now from this chapter's point of view, remember, when we did direct expense in the past chapters, I told you wages will not be included. It will be included in employees benefit, but in trading account wages was included. So you remember that direct expense will include wages also, purchase expenses also, and factory expenses also if it is a manufacturing firm. So if these things are given separately, then opening stock plus purchase plus wages plus purchase expense plus factory expense minus closing stock. And what is cost of goods consumed? That includes only opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. So in case cost of goods consumed is given to you, then what would be your cost of goods sold? Cost of goods consumed plus wages plus purchase expense plus factory expense. Okay, that we'll see when we come to the questions. Then second, operating ratio. Now, operating ratio, operating cost upon sales into 100. And what is operating cost? Cost of goods sold plus operating expenses divided by sales into 100, where cost of goods sold is equal to, do we need to write that formula again? No. But listen everyone, from this gross profits formula, sales minus cost of goods sold, take cost of goods sold on the left side, so it becomes plus, gross profit on the right side. So can I say cost of goods sold equals to sales minus gross profit? If at all gross profit is given in the question, then don't apply this lengthy formula. Then how can you find simply cost of goods sold, sales minus gross profit? So that alternative formula we mention here. And you can apply that lengthy formula also if you wish. But, sorry, sales minus gross profit. If gross profit is already given, then we will find cost of goods sold as sales minus gross profit. Did everyone understand this? And operating expenses will be equal to, I told told you administrative expenses plus selling expenses plus depreciation. But it will not include financial expenses. It will not include depreciation and amortization also, that written off. That is also a business operating activity, goodwill written off, patents written off, etc. But it will not include financial expenses and losses like loss by fire, loss by theft, loss on sale of asset, and also any profits like profit on sale of assets. They are not your business related items. Did you understand this portion? Then third, operating profit ratio is equal to operating profit divided by sales into 100, where operating profit is equal to sales minus cost of goods sold minus operating expenses. In short, sales minus operating cost. And what is that operating cost we studied? Cost of goods sold plus operating expense. And as I discussed with you, that operating profit ratio will always be equal to 100 minus operating ratio. So if operating ratio is already given in the question, then we need not apply the formula operating profit upon sales into 100. If operating ratio is already obtained, then how will you find operating profit ratio? 100 minus operating ratio. Did everyone understand this?
Yes.
This shortcut we will be using. And last one, net profit ratio is equal to net profit divided by sales into 100, where net profit is profit after tax. Did everyone understand this? So questions based on profitability ratios will start tomorrow. Right? Tell you all for today. Bye everyone. And those who have not done the homework, show it 3 times.